Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Amar Singh, Assistant Professor of English, presently teaching at Government College, Kawali. Today, we will take the first lesson of BSc first year, that is BSc first sem. The English textbook prescribed for BSc first year students is Chronicles of Time, an anthology of poems, and the first poem is Let Me Note to the Marriage of True Minds, written by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare has a great name in the history of English literature. He was a myriad-minded genius. He had the gift of God to humanity. Born on 23rd April 1564 and he died in 1616. Shakespeare is a universally acclaimed English poet dramatist. By virtue of his unique originality, intuitive grasp of human psyche, the poetic brilliance, his sonnets, collectively matchless in power and beauty, are among the finest lyrical poetry of Elizabethan age. Shakespeare also has a great name as a dramatist. As far as poem is concerned, today's poem, Let Me Note to the Marriage of True Minds, the poem strongly echoes the ideal of spiritual love, which is not bounded by death, decay, and destruction, caused by the relentless march of time's winged chariot. Like other sonnets from sonnet sequence, this sonnet is in perfect Shakespearean form with 3 quatrains and a rhyming couplet following the rhyme pattern of ABAB, CDCD, EFEF, GG. It has its own structure comprising exposition, elaboration, exemplification, and inference. The first quatrain proposes the theme, the second and the third enlarge and exemplify, and the couplet concludes the sonnet. So that's the structural plan of the sonnet. Now let's study the poem. I read the poem, the very first stanza. Let me note to the marriage of true minds, admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds or bends with the remover to remove. So in these lines, the poet explains the qualities of true love. I would like to clarify here that in this poem, the true love is described, and that is spiritual love. It is not the physical love, it is the spiritual love. Shakespeare talks about the spiritual love. And spiritual love is the true love. So in the first stanza, the poet says, let me note to the marriage of true minds. Marriage means unification. It is not conventional marriage. It is, here means unification of true minds. Means those who think in a similar way. So let me note to the marriage of true minds, admit impediments. Shakespeare says that in the course of the unification of true minds, there is no impediment. Impediment means barrier, obstacle. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds. Secondly, Shakespeare says that love is not the true love, which changes when the chance comes to change, or bends with the remove. And true love never yields, is never removed whenever there is any chance to remove. What it means? It means that true love is not subjected to temptations. True love is not selfish one. True love never sees the betterment or better prospectus, and it changes with the better future. So true love is the unification of true minds, and that is steadfast, that is steadfast, that is permanent, and that never changes even though chance to change comes. So now let us proceed to the second stanza. Oh, no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth is unknown, although his height be taken. In this second stanza, true love is compared to the ever fixed mark and the North Star. Ever fixed mark is a metaphorical comparison to the sun. As the sun is fixed in the universe, in the same way, true love is also having its steadfastness. So, ever fixed mark, that is having one more meaning, that is the lighthouse in the sea, which looks at the tempests and is never shaken. The sea waves, they strike with the lighthouse, and the lighthouse faces them boldly, and it is not shaken. In the same way, in the sea of life, in the ocean of life, problems will come, but true love is never shaken. Secondly, it is the star. True love is compared to the star, North Star. As the North Star provides direction, provides guidance to the wandering ships in the sea. They give the direction to the wandering ship. And North Star always remains in the north. It never changes its position. In the same way, true love is ever fixed, true love is permanent, true love is steadfast, and it never changes its position. Now let's come to third stanza. Love is not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass come. Lovers alter not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. So, in this stanza, the poet wants to explain that everything comes under the compass, under the range of time. Time spares none. With the passage of time, everything declines, decays, and comes to destruction. But here, true love is not subject to. True love doesn't come into the range of the time. Although time cuts the physical beauty of the lovers, rosy lips and cheeks, they lose their beauty. But the real love, the spiritual love, the love within the hearts of the lover, within the soul of the lovers, that never loses its intensity, that was ever fresh, that is ever fresh, and that will remain ever fresh to the last breath. So that's the quality of true love. The poet further says that time within his bending sickle's compass, yes, time is compared here to a farmer. As the farmer reaps his crops with the sickle, in the same way, time cuts everything. Time cuts the beauty, physical beauty of the lovers, but it has nothing to do with the true love. True love doesn't come to the range of the time. Time cannot spoil anything as far as true love is concerned. So, true love is, two qualities of true love are described here, that is, constancy and steadfastness. These two qualities of true love are expressed with the example of ever fixed mark and with the example of North Star. In the last couplet, what the poet wants to say, if this be error, and upon me proved, I never read, nor no man ever loved. Now, in the concluding couplet, the poet throws a challenge. He says that in the definition of true love, in the description, the qualities of true love, if someone proves him wrong, if someone proves that Shakespeare was at fault in describing true love, then the poet says, then he will agree that nobody ever wrote anything on this earth, and he is no more a poet, and nobody loved on this earth. So Shakespeare is so full of confidence about his definition of true love, about the qualities of true love, that he challenges the whole world. So the concept of true love is very much clear from the poem. Now let's go through some textual questions. Explain the central idea of the sonnet in your own words. The central idea of the sonnet is that the spiritual love, the true love, is always permanent, it is constant, it is steadfast, and it never changes. It faces all the temptations, but it doesn't change its position. So, the concept of true love is the central idea of the sonnet. Next question, how has beauty been described as weak before time? Yes, beauty is described weak before time, because time, with its time, in the process of time, everything becomes weak. With the passage of time, things decay and decline. In the same way, the beauty, the physical beauty of the lovers, that also decline. They lose the charm of their rosy lips and cheeks. So, beauty is weak before time. Next question, how far do you agree with poet's statement, love is not time's fool? Yes, we agree in totality that love is not time's fool. Means, love is beyond time. Time cannot do anything with true love. Time cannot diminish the intensity of true love. True love is beyond time. True love doesn't come in the range of time. Next question, which characteristic quality of true love is highlighted by the use of phrase ever fixed mark? Ever fixed mark is metaphorically hints towards the sun. As the sun keeps its position fixed in the sky, in the universe, in the same way, true love never changes its place. Next question, what is the assertion made by the poet in the couplet of this sonnet? The assertion made by the poet in the couplet of the sonnet, that, let us again read the couplet, if this be error, and upon me proved, I never read, nor no man ever loved. So the couplet, in the couplet, the poet asserts that his definition of true love is error-free, is faultless. What he has said about true love is true, is purely true. And if someone proves that he is wrong in his definition, then Shakespeare says, then he will admit that he is not a poet. And even no one loved, no love exists on this earth. Next question, how does Shakespeare define true love? Yes, Shakespeare defines true love as true love is the unification of true minds. It's a spiritual love. It's the love which remains permanent, which is steadfast, and which is constant. It never yields to any impediments, any barriers, any temptations, any remover. No remover can remove true love. Explain the structure and rhyme scheme of sonnet. The poem is a sonnet, Shakespearean sonnet, having 14 lines with 3 quatrains, means 3 stanzas of 4 lines each, and lastly 1 couplet, 2 lines. The rhyme scheme is ABAB, CDCD, EFEF, GG, means first line of every stanza rhymes with the third line. The second line of every stanza rhymes with the fourth line. So, and lastly the couplet, these 2 lines rhyme with each other. The last question is, how has true love been presented as permanent and immutable? Yes, true love is presented as permanent and immutable. Shakespeare's with the examples of ever fixed mark, with the example of pole star, he tries to emphasize that true love remains permanent, true love is always constant, and it is steadfast, it is never subject to any temptations, and it never changes. Thanks a lot.